Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Scrap and Roll MMA podcast. I'm your host, Sky. We got your host, Jace, Damien, and CJ in the building. We are back. The band is back. How was you guys' weekend? All that good jazz?
It was chill. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm telling y'all. All right. So last week, as we were recording, Damien's camera was not acting up. Everything was going well. All of a sudden, get to the post process, and the videos just glitched out. There's nothing we could do about it. It was so sad. There were so many great moments in there. If y'all didn't already, make sure you go back, check out the podcast from last weekend. But yeah, it was definitely a vibe. It was absolutely hilarious. Speaking of last weekend, we had Ilia Topuria taking on your boy Josh Emmett.
Yeah.
Wow. What a banger. Like, how would you guys rate the card overall from last weekend?
So I guess
Uh,
go for it.
I would give it a strong B, probably like a 7.98. It was a good card. It was fun. Had some high moments. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Came out early in the day.
yeah, I don't mind the early cards. I don't know why. It's because I feel like my mornings are more free than my evenings on the weekend, right? So I find it I find it enjoyable to have early cards every now and again. I kind of like that. But yeah, I agree with you. It was an okay card. It wasn't bad. Especially like the main event. I enjoyed it.
I felt like
I don't think.
go ahead, Jason.
You don't
I was
think?
just gonna say, like me personally, like I don't think the main event. I don't think the main event was all that. I thought your boy just caught a beating. It wasn't a great fight. He endured punishment. You know what I'm saying? But like how it got fight of the night. The fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but overall, the card, hey, just let it bang, bro. The card had bangers on it. Bangers.
I kind of like those type of fights though, where someone's getting beat the fuck up, but he's not going down and he's continuing to fight because those are the type of fights that you don't want to fucking blink because the underdog could fucking catch him with an overhand right or like some crazy shit. You know what I mean? So those are the type of fights. Even though he was getting his ass whooped, we could all agree on that. It was it was like keep your eyes peeled because somebody could go to sleep at any moment even though it was like in the fifth round and dude's still taking an ass whooping. Actually, Taporia slowed down a little bit, and then it seemed like Josh Emmett turned the gas on. I don't know what the hell was going on with that, and I thought he was going to do better, but I mean, y'all saw what happened. So, but I don't mind those type of fights. I actually like those.
Damn.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that Trevor Peak versus
Woo!
Mariscal, that fight right there, that was absolutely insane. Like I started texting everybody. I was like, man, these boys are banging.
Oh
They
yeah,
was going at it. And I think wasn't Mariscal, wasn't he coming off like didn't he just get signed on? Like this was his UFC debut.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was
Came
his
in,
debut. He won.
yeah, came in, got the win, looked great. Cardio held up. He got a little bit tired. I mean, but then I thought that was fight of the night. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
Didn't it go to the decision?
yeah.
Which I don't know how the fuck that happened. I feel like they were both wobbling in that fight, the whole fight.
Yeah, from the very beginning, like from the moment that it started, they was going at
Yep.
Fair.
They probably both visited the doctors after that one. They don't even know who they fought or what day it was.
it. Facts. Another fight that I really thought could have potentially been fight of the night was Amanda Ribas versus Macy Barber.
Oh
They was
yeah.
banging from the start to
Oh
finish.
yeah.
That was absolutely crazy. I did not expect that. Like I know Damien had texted me and CJ had texted and was like, man, and people say they don't like girls fighting.
Nah, yeah, that was a staple right there. I love that. That was a fun fucking fight. And I don't understand it because they put women like kind of in like the lower class of fighting, which I don't understand because if it was two 135 pounders doing the same shit, it would have been a different story, right? But Nah, bro, that fight was exciting. I really enjoyed that shit,
Mhm.
and shout out to Macy Barber because she was the underdog in that fight, and she fucking went out there and got it done, finished her. Like, yeah, what a beast. I fuck with her.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a question about that, right? So I was thinking, I'm like, do women not hit hard or do they have great chance?
That's a good
I'm gonna
question.
say don't hit as hard.
I probably agree with that. I feel like they don't. Ah, it's
But it's
that's
relative,
But
right?
I
Because
was
it's
just
another
about to
woman
say that.
hitting another woman.
I was just
yeah,
about to say that. Yeah, it's
so
relative to
that's a hard
women's hitting
one.
each other. Yeah, yeah.
So I guess for me, I don't really see a lot of the women besides like an Amanda Shevchenko that really like sit down on their punches. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And really try to throw that heat.
I think also too it becomes from when Amanda's been fighting since she was super young. Valentina's been fighting since she was super young. So they're athletes who've been fighting. A lot of girls who start their careers a lot later don't have that same athletic ability when they're throwing their kicks and their punches. You can just see it in how they do things. So you watch the girls who fight Muay Thai in ONE FC, their strikes are way different than you watch the girls that
hmm
fight in the UFC. But like Sky said, it's all relative to size. So I don't know. Some girls are just tough. You know what I'm saying? Because Hebus took that kick to the face, and then right after she was throwing punches. Right, I was like, "What the fuck was that? That was
Yo,
crazy."
Man,
she
she
ate
took.
like 3 kicks to the dome, shin to the
hmm
dome.
And the one that busted her up, where she was leaking out the nose, was like a close clinch elbow. Where I swear to God, you heard it. You heard the crack in her nose, and she just act like it didn't even bother her. But she was fucking leaking. I said, "Oh my goodness." So yeah, it's relative to kind of like what you said because I see women that be sparring with men and be like keeping up with the men and shit, right? But I
Mhm.
feel like some of the women in the UFC only be sparring with women hard. You know what I mean? Versus like sparring with like let's say like a Brandon Moreno or somebody that's like equal in weight and size, but the power is just not the same. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
different, and I can't put my finger on it, but I definitely understand what y'all are saying with that.
Genetics.
It
Yeah.
could be that.
It is that. That's why we
So
don't want
yeah,
the cross gender fighting. Yeah, y'all weighing both at 125, but you
Bone
one's
know,
holding
density.
muscle and one's kind of soft.
and and
Hey,
and
it's
and
One's
and,
cutting
and
possible.
weight and one's walking around at that weight.
yeah, and not in like a disrespectful way. You know what I mean? Like there's no shade,
Oh yeah.
just pure biology. And I'm so left of the left. I'm left-handed, so don't even get it twisted, people out there.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting question. Comment below what y'all think about that. Whether females have great chance or if they're just not hitting as hard. One thing I definitely did want to talk about was your boy David Onama. David
Hmm.
Onama with the comeback, then the Izzy celebration. How do y'all feel in general? Like, obviously we've been seeing like different people on social media doing the same style of celebration. Like, how do you guys feel about that when you see it? I seen that Izzy reposted it. He liked it. So,
He did. He did.
yeah, he
I was
reposted it.
saying. I remember I texted you about it, and I was like, "Oh, you hit him with the Izzy," which I feel some type of way about it because it's like be original, but also he's paying homage to like one of the goats and shit. So I don't really know how to feel about it. I would have liked to have seen something else because I feel like it's already played out now. We didn't seen too many people do that shit. But at the end of the day, he's probably paying homage because he looks up to him, he respects him and shit, and he probably thought that shit was super dope. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna hit this nigga with the Izzy. So whatever,
Yeah,
man. Like whatever people want to do, man. Whatever. I'm with it. But I felt some type of way about it at first, but looking back on it, it's cool, bro. Like, I remember growing up, I used to want to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I used to want to be like The Rock, mimicking them, doing their shit. I didn't drink beer, but
I
I'm
was
over
about to say
here.
you had the beers.
But I'm over here celebrating and shit like that. So I get it. Go ahead, bro. Do your shit.
yeah. What about
Yeah,
y'all?
I was the same way. Like when I first seen it, it didn't hit me that much. I wasn't upset or whatever. It was just a whatever moment for me. I asked Mom, I was like, "What you think?" She was like, it was a little corny." She was just like, Izzy has a story for why he did it.
Exactly.
Onama just did it because it was some fly shit. Um, but it is. But we were talking about Izzy and like, does he push the needle? Is he charismatic and shit? Look, we have motherfuckers getting their diplomas, shooting the motherfucking principal with the arrows. We have, it's just like fucking the light skinned dude who boxed the other day. He was shooting the arrows.
Yeah.
We got this guy shooting the arrows. So
Wait a second, Damien, you shot an arrow?
not this light skinned guy, the guy from
I'm just
the little
talking
dating
shit. I'm
show.
just talking shit. Talking shit.
So I'm not upset about it, but you know how the internet gets. They motherfuckers start tripping. But if you knock a nigga out like that, do whatever the fuck you want to do, my guy. Shit.
Exactly. Come
I'm
back
not a
kid.
fan. Not a fan. Create your own wave. Don't be dick
Yeah.
riding.
Oh wait.
I feel the opposite way about it. For
Go ahead.
me, I like it. I like it. I
You
like
like
that
it?
shit. I'm like, you know what? Go out there and do your thing. Celebrate. It's like I don't watch football, but I know that the football players. I think one of y'all might have said this, but the football players always hitting the gritty. They
Hit the
always doing
gritty.
shit like that. It's like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean. At the end of the day, like celebrate, feel good. Like if that's what he wanted to do, if that's what inspired him when he
Mm,
was in the gym, like, hey, do that shit. Like there's no rule that says like only one person can do this and blah 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 blah. It's like we as a society make up those rules and start talking about this is
Yeah.
that and
Yep.
this and that. When in reality, it's just a person who got a knockout who was losing that fight,
Yep.
and that was the way that he wanted to express himself and celebrate. And like I
yeah.
thought it was beautiful.
Living in the moment too.
Yeah,
Especially after like a comeback like that, because I was for sure thinking he was about to get knocked out. Because
yeah.
Santos was looking nice on the feet. I was actually impressed. I said, "Damn, they got
Yeah.
hands." All right. So, what do y'all feel about no contest being ruled in fights like this, where it was an accidental eye poke for
That's what I was
Tafa
about to
and
talk
Lane?
about. Hmm.
Because I was feeling some type of way about it, but then at the same time, like I understand because the fight had just started and it was accidental. However, I feel like it's fucked up for Tafa because he didn't do anything wrong and he's almost getting penalized for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He still got to pay his fucking trainers and his coaches and all this. You know what I mean? Even though the fight went the way that it did, early, early in the fight. So how do y'all feel about that? Because I was upset for him to be honest.
Um, you're right. Two things can be right. Who the fuck was he fighting? I forget old boy's
Austin
name.
Lane.
Lane. Lane didn't do that shit on purpose. The fight was only happening for 30 seconds. He threw a punch. He tried to get out the way. It was a bad eye poke. It would be cool if UFC gave him half of a bonus, not a bonus, but half win, half show type of shit because Tafa didn't do nothing wrong. But it's
Hmm.
one of those fucked up situations, like you were saying, Damien.
Oh, it sucks. It sucks for everybody
Yeah,
involved,
everybody.
even the
Yeah.
even the teams and the coaches behind the scene and shit. Because I'm sure they've been working hard
Yep.
on getting their boys prepped and shit for war, and then something happens like this. It just the fact that it happened so early on too. That's like the worst part about it. You ain't even get to show your shit you've been working on, And it was a bad eye poke. Like he
Yeah, that's
probably,
scary.
I don't know if he went to the hospital afterwards. I could imagine that he did, because his shit was leaking. You know what I mean? The dude's finger went to the knuckle in his eyeball. And that's a big motherfucker, so his fingers are like motherfucking twice our size.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
That was the one question that like I had was that the worst eye poke that you've seen, or what do you think is the worst eye poke? I know for me, it's your boy Leon Edwards clawing,
Oh,
very similar to what happened to Tafa. Like
Hmm.
Leon Edwards clawed your man's eyes out. They were both bleeding. They were both like Bilal instantly was like screaming and weeping.
yeah.
Like you could just tell. To me, that was the worst. What about y'all?
I agree with you.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
agree with you. That shit was nasty. His finger was like halfway in his goddamn eye. And anything with the
Mm,
eyes is scary. He's like, bro, you ain't trying to go blind off of no shit like that.
Right.
Your eyes are
yeah.
sensitive, so
So on
fuck.
that note, I gotta give it to Dan Henderson with the worst eye poke with the motherfucking knuckle to the eye of Michael Bisping. 'Cause
Cost
he
him his eye. Literally.
permanently damaged that shit.
Literally. Oh no. His eye is
Sheesh.
No,
gone.
that's
He,
Vitor.
No, it was Dan Henderson, wasn't it?
No, Bisping ain't got no eye.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
no,
Cause
it was the Vitor fight. Henderson's just one
oh,
that hit him with the most unnecessary blow of all time.
Super
oh, okay.
necessary.
Okay, yeah, I must have got them confused because I could have swore that is the one that did the damage because if you see that shit, oh my goodness, something's going in that one, you know. So, but yeah, I agree with you, Scott. That because that one they showed the replay and it was knuckle deep into the eye socket, probably touched that nigga's brain. You know what I
Ew.
mean?
What about you,
Yeah.
Jace?
I think that no contest was appropriate. Unfortunately, obviously with the gloves that's been talked about for
Yep.
years upon years, it's unfortunate. It sucks. It is what it was. It was what it is. No contest for me is the exact right ruling. Definitely didn't feel like it was intentional in any capacity. It sucks.
What if they like? I know this is fucking random, but what if they like just tape the end of their fingers like so it's not a sharp, jagged nail going into your eye. It's more of like a padded tape. You know what I mean? Like, what if they did something like that? Or is that hindering of like your limbs and shit? I wonder.
I would say hindering, especially for one, it doesn't solve the problem, right? Like you
Uh,
still can have it go in your eye. And then two, if you are a jujitsu grappler type, it's really going to affect you, especially even just being able to like lock your hands. You hear DC always talk about, got to get around them and lock those hands to really get that grip.
yeah, that's a good point. But I was just saying for like your nails, right? To prevent the scratching of the cornea and shit. 'Cause I feel like that's what really fucks you up versus like the impact of something poking you in the eye versus like something sharp or like with a jagged edge hitting you in the eye. But yeah, that's a topic for another day.
And that's why they were looking into trying to introduce those onyx gloves from Trevor Whitman,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
Trevor doesn't want to sell his whole company. I guess the UFC wants to like just straight outright buy it, and he's like,
Yep.
nah, I see the vision with this. Like, I'm not just gonna sell off my whole company. I'd rather
Mhm.
allow you to license it and use it. So we'll see what happens. Like, there's other gloves that could be better that could prevent this. But I think eye pokes are something that's going to happen.
It's going to
Unfortunately,
happen. Yep.
but it is what it is. Like it's. I think that is almost worse. Kind of like what I was talking about with Cameron Saman. Like when somebody repetitively is doing something, right? So you get those people that repetitively eye poke. Cameron Saman and both of his UFC fights, he's all these fucking nut kicks. It's like those are the people where I'm just like, all right, bro. Like how many times, like every single fight you got an eye poke? This is a
Yeah.
pattern now, and we got to start looking at patterns and be like, hey, we taking
No
a
more
fucking point
warnings.
away. Yeah,
No
like
more
no warning.
warnings.
Like
Yep.
we not doing that. But we also can't be like Jason Herzog, who I don't know if Jason was just mad at your boy Paulo Costa when he fought Marvin Vettori. But I don't know if y'all remember, but Marvin Vettori, was it a nut shot or was it an eye poke? It was something. And very first violation, he took a point away. But that was
Very
that
first
same
one.
fight. That was that same fight that your boy Paulo was over there BSing the whole week. Came
Yep.
in extra heavy, didn't want to cut weight. They had to negotiate weight. See, like that's what I find is funny. This is a small little tangent, right? I think it's funny that like all of a sudden like people have gotten back on the Paulo Costa train or whatever, but y'all been talking shit about Hamza, right? But Paulo Costa started this shit. He came in at 225, supposed to be weighing 185 pounds, and in the middle of the night, they over there, okay, let's go with 200. Okay, 200 is not going to work. Let's go with 205. Okay, 205 is not going to work. And had to settle all the way at 215. So Marvin Vettori was coming in later. Now, I know that Paulo lost that fight, but that whole thing was a negotiation for his contract bullshit. And y'all still be talking about, oh, he loves Paula. He was goofy as fuck for that. And then he pulled out against Robert Whitaker. And y'all still talking about secret juice. Man, man, Let him fight and get up out of here. I don't think he gonna fight his next fight against that
Probably
unranked opponent. I don't see it happening in Salt Lake.
Ikram, right? That's who he's fighting. Ikram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a reason for not fighting Robert. Yeah.
The
I don't know how I
MMA
got from there to there to there, but 6 degrees of separation, man.
Nah, but the MMA fighters, man, they just like niggas that hit hard. That's it. And they be just riding them niggas. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo, chill.
Nah, they do though. Like
All
I
gas,
said
no
that. I
brakes.
said that on purpose, bro. They be
Fast
fucking
forward.
dick riding. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like there's other respectable fighters out here than these dirty motherfuckers who don't be trying to cut weight, who be calling out of fights, calling out of their fucking job. I'm sick. I drank some wine the night before because I
Yeah.
couldn't sleep. Shut your ass up, bro.
Hey,
Come on, you a professional. You a
Came out there and got
professional.
dog pounded. Came out there and got dog pounded.
And then try to talk shit afterwards, talking about I will kill you. Yeah, right.
Yo.
You got killed in there.
Hey, how y'all feel about that celebration, right? So when Izzy hit him with the the little double pound strokes from the back, you think somebody gonna?
That's
hey,
disrespectful.
What you gonna do? You get in a fight, somebody do you?
I mean, you lost already. You can't do nothing. That's the type of nigga where you beat up at the club and he go and get his gun from his car and come back. Right? That's why you got to skedaddle afterwards.
Hey, cause you know what? That reminded me of I think I sent all of y'all that video of that dude. They were sparring and training, and dude was kissed him, and he was already beating him up and doing. I'm like, oh, bruh, it's going
about that.
You already getting beat up, so you can't beat the man up. Then he kissed you. We're not doing that. We going to
jumping
the
your ass.
we going
to the. I'm gonna pump the trunk on your bitch ass.
Yeah, man. That's wild. One thing that I did want to go over before we hit the main event of this, that question that I had. So the Kazakhstan Patty the Baddie lost. It was a split decision. He is now 1-6 in the UFC. More than likely will be cut. But all of his losses were split decisions. Now, I have not watched all of his losses to have a deep opinion on it. But the general question was, do you think fighters should be cut when they have all of their losses are split decisions? Should they be on the chopping block if everything has been a split decision? Which I did think that he lost that fight, but
yes, 100% yes. Because you got to look at the paper, you got to look at the numbers, right? And the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
You lost all these fights. I don't care how close it was. I don't care if you almost submitted the nigga 10 times in the fight. You lost. That's what it is, bro. It's a LLL, and that's what people see when they looking at the UFC and who's on the roster. They say they got this nigga that lost 6 fights. I could be in the UFC. I only lost 4 fights in a row. You know what I mean? And all mine were split decisions. UFC, sign me up. I'm your boy. Nah, bro. When you look at the paper, it's still an L at the end of the day. Just like how we respect people that get W's at the end of the day when they just fucking hugging the person the whole fucking fight. At the end of the day, they got a W and it's on paper, it's on the record. You can't say shit about it. You could talk shit, but niggas still winning and got paid, so can't really do nothing about it. So I feel like, unfortunately, he gonna have to kick. I'll see you in PFL.
Not PFL. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. Damien with the headphones is different, y'all. Listen, go back and watch the old pods when he had the little ear pods in and you could barely hear him and stuff. Hey, he got the headset, was like, hey, I'm in this thing. He going off. He talking
My
shit.
nigga got confidence.
Hey. What about y'all? Y'all think that people with split decisions should be on the chopping block or what?
In the words of arguably the world's greatest band, In Sync, bye. Bye. Yeah, you gotta go. Can't stay here. What you got, CJ?
What's the point where we start cutting them at? Is it 3 in a row, 2 in a row, 4 in a row? I know 6 is a lot. Yeah, nigga, you can go. But where is it damn, bro?
That's a good question.
Might not be the place for you to be at.
That's a good question because I feel
because my nigga Young probably should go somewhere then.
Yeah, but it
Young
also
probably gotta go somewhere.
Tony, we looking at you, Tony. You 0-5.
but
I feel like we gotta
Chandler,
look at
you
the
gotta
level of
go somewhere.
competition that they've been facing though. Like if you lose into like top 3, top 4 in the entire world in the UFC, that's understandable, especially if you're not getting KO'd every time or finished every time. But when you facing people that aren't even ranked and you losing and shit, that's a different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all, we
and to
caping.
piggyback on
We
that for a
caping.
sec,
Real quick, Jace, we caping. Damien over there caping for Tony Ferguson right now. You ain't slick. Go ahead, Jace.
I was gonna say, but also it also depends on like the type of fighter you are. You know what I mean? Certain fighters
Yeah.
get a longer leash, if you will. You know,
Mhm.
like I was tripping the other day when I was looking at Chandler, like he's 2-3,
2 and
right?
3 right now.
Most
Yep.
people who are 2-3 in the UFC, like they're nervous. Like that manager's gonna get their phone call, you know what I mean? But you know, if you go in there and just go balls deep, I mean, shout out to Michael Chandler, man. Like no one even knows his record, nor do people care. They just
Yeah,
want
for
to watch
real.
him because he's exciting. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So there is a little bit of like how you're losing, how you are fighting. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might lost 3 or 4 in a row, but is it like bang bang? Are you going out there just trying to finish? The guy got caught like this. There's a lot of nuance in the entire situation.
Yep, facts.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. And then quickly let's talk about the main event. Jace, your boy Ilia Topuria gets it done in spectacular, dominating fashion. Now is ranked number 5 in the UFC. What would you guys like to see next for Ilia?
Title shot.
Because I got my opinion.
Title shot, 100%. He
Pull up the rankings.
he's great. You know, everyone else in the top, everyone else that's 1 through 4 has already had their shot. Go ahead and give my man who I've been riding his coattails for about 4 fights now. 100%. If they want to throw Max in there with him, I think that's a mistake. So I think he styles the fuck out of Max. So I don't think that 100% they should not put Max Holloway in there. You said you smoke what? I didn't hear you.
I said you smoking crack now.
Who? Me?
Talking crazy. I
Why
hope
is
they
that?
put him in there. Hey, first of all, let me let everybody else get their shit off because yeah. Go ahead.
That was gonna be one of my hot takes for you. That was gonna be one of my hot takes. But yeah, we all high on Ilia, man. He's a good fighter. He looked amazing in that fight. He looked patient. His boxing was A1. He wrestled when he wanted to, but he's also fighting Josh Emmett. I was talking to somebody and I was like, bro's literally like the epitome of one of those 2006 fighters. All he doing is
That's what I
throwing
was saying.
haymakers. He has no footwork. He's
That's what
just
I was
a
saying.
punching bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? He just throwing hard right hands.
Like seeing him in the top 5, I wasn't really impressed by him at all. You know, I was like that was like lucky. Oh, okay, yeah, you lucky that you got in that position that you were in. But I was never really uh impressed by
Yeah.
Emmett. So I would rather him see somebody like Arnold Allen fight him. Like
I was
that would
thinking
be
that
a
too a
good
little
fucking
bit.
fight. That would be a great fight. 'Cause I feel like that would be an even playing field where the winner of that fight maybe fights for a title. You know, Brian Ortega, this nigga hasn't even been doing that, bro. Like he's not
This
even on the
nigga Damien
roster
in his bag
in
right
my like Brian Ortega, this nigga not even on the roster in my head. Like I don't even know what to think
So
about
he's
him
Kobe
anymore.
Covington.
Yeah, like this nigga gone, bro. He
Get a
rested.
guy.
He rested, bro. Like
Hey, let me ask y'all this to piggyback off of what Damien was saying. Is there such thing as luck in the UFC? Like, is that an actual
That's
thing?
that's
yeah,
funny, man.
100%.
People talk about that. It's like, what's the definition of luck? What is luck? Is that
Hitting the lottery.
shit? We all need that shit. Was that elbow
DDP.
that elbow
DDP
that
fight.
Yair hit Zombie with? Is that was a lucky shot? Was it luck that Masvidal did to Ben Askren? Is that lucky? You know, it's just like
Uh
shit. Where does it start and where does it end?
Yeah, luck is definitely subjective. I
You
wouldn't
know,
say that
yeah.
those shots. I wouldn't say that those shots were luck because of the way that they were slept after those, right? Uh, Josh Emmett is a lucky nigga. I'm gonna say that he got lucky charms on his side. That's what it is.
They failed him on Saturday.
Here's my thing about the whole situation that's taking place at the featherweight division. And I do have a question about the featherweight division and the big.
Wait, Scott. I'm sorry to cut you off. Before you go, do you think luck is a thing?
I think there's a small amount of luck that happens in every situation.
Every situation.
Every single strike that is thrown, yes, is thrown to land and intentionally do something, but I think that it also has, like, when you see, Sean O'Malley versus Cheeto Vera, it hitting him in his perennial nerve, like, and making his leg go numb. Like, there's a sense of luck there. Yes, he threw the strike, but there's a little bit of luck that goes there. Aljamain Sterling might be the luckiest champion, and y'all know I fucks with Sterling. But he might be the luckiest champion. He got put in really great positions, right? But that doesn't mean that he didn't work his way to get there, right? So I think that there's a little bit of luck, but not like, I'm not like, oh, that was a lucky strike.
Hey, yo,
Because
Sky,
they drill this shit.
Drake is your favorite artist. It's
Oh.
God's plan. God's plan.
Hey, that's what that boy Francis walk out to.
Shit. So I don't know, man. Measuring luck is wild. Like,
Yeah.
somebody was talking about it. It's like, what percentage was the luck? 5%, 10%? Like, I don't know how to fucking. And fighting is
Quantify
weird.
it.
Yeah, fighting is super weird.
Because you'll never know. Because all you,
You
see is the
never
results.
know. Yep.
That's all you see is the results, and when you see it, they could just be like, "Oh yeah, I've been practicing that at the gym. I've been setting that up the whole time," and you just gotta believe it. But we all know some of this shit be lucky, like you were saying,
Destiny's a bitch, man.
where it hit the nerve, nigga. You can't you not an X-ray. You can't see where his nerve is and like aim for that shit. It just happened to hit it. It is what it is, and you can't really doubt them on their skill set or anything like that because they're all real trained fighters who put themselves in the line of fire every time. So that's why I always respect everybody. But yeah, there's a little bit of luck to this shit. That he ended up blocking low instead of high and caught the high kick. Rest in peace, Usman.
Oh!
Yo, bro. Hey, this nigga Damien got something against that nigga, bro. He got something against Kamaru, bro.
No, I don't. I really like Kamaru.
I said Kamaru.
Hey, he been at his helmet for 4 weeks straight, man. It's crazy.
Oh man, what about you, Jason? Luck?
No, I don't think there's luck. I think shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, luck by definition, I think loosely is just say abnormality. You know what I mean? We can view luck in a lot of different terms. It's lucky to win the lottery, but you also can get quote unquote lucky to get stage 4 prostate cancer when you're 18. You know what I mean? Luck is just something that doesn't happen very often by definition, but I don't think any of this stuff in fighting is luck. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you thought someone was going low and they came high. Like they made a skillful choice to go high instead of low.
Skillful choice. Yeah.
So, in other words, Israel Adesanya sleeping your boy Alex wasn't luck.
That's good.
That shit came back full circle.
That's good.
Run it back.
Full circle. Yeah, so about the whole Alex Rodriguez, wow, Alex Rodriguez. I'm all over the place.
Is this a baseball podcast?
Not Yair, but Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria. I think, in my opinion, it comes down to who wins at 290. If Yair wins, they're gonna run it back. Maybe they run it back with Volk and Yair. The reason I say maybe is because Volk really seems to want to go up to 155 and fight Islam again. So who knows what's going to happen with that. If Volk wins, I think they have to run it with Ilia. We know that Volk wants to be active. He always wants to be active. So I'm pretty sure he's going to want to fight. That motherfucker might want to fight in Sydney if he goes out there and style on Yair. You never know. He might want to fight in Sydney, but he for sure want to fight at the end of the year in December. and it makes sense that Yair would be available. If something happens and Yair does end up winning, then I think that Ilia will have to fight Max.
To get that
Even
shot.
though, I am saying it, and I do mean it. Like your boy sidestepping. You got people like Corey Sandhagen who's like, hey, the boy just got in the top 5, right? There's people in the top 5. I'm talking to Ilia. There's Arnold Allen, who's uninjured. Brian Ortega, he should be done with his injury, coming off of his injury, whatever the case may be. And Max Holloway. You still got 3 people. You just got there. And you talking like, oh, I deserve a title shot. And everybody's like, yeah. But when your boy Benny's on a 8-fight winning streak, he got to go through a killer. He had to go through the former champion to make it there. Your boy, what's his name? Bilal Muhammad. Oh, shit, that's so bad. But y'all know, like Bilal Muhammad had to go through Vicente Luque, Stephen Wonderboy, and then it was like, yeah, bro, but we're going to also make you go through Gilbert Burns. You know what I mean? They wasn't trying to give him a shot. Now all of a sudden, Ilia Topuria pops up in number 5, and we just like, yeah, bro, go ahead, see him through.
I think it's
that's like the funniest unintentional joke like ever. What's his name? Because nobody remember that nigga's name.
Who was you talking about? I think it's the like almost how the boxing aspect is, where this nigga has a 0 next to his name, so we want to see him fight the best of the best, because the other 2 have lost. We've seen their careers play out, and yeah, they've been on a streak where they on the up and up, but they've also lost, and we kind of remember that shit. So it doesn't hold the same type of weight versus a nigga that's 13-0, 14-0. You know what I mean? So we were like, okay, well, since he's running through all these people and is beating everybody, let's see how he holds up against a Max Holloway. Let's see if he could, you know what I mean? And that's kind of, that ends up being the downfall of these fighters, though, right? Boxing, they be having a padded record. That's what they say. I don't know. I'm not a real boxing fan, but they be saying they padding their record because they want them to have that O, so they could sell a major pay-per-view later on in the future. Where the UFC fighters, you get somebody like what's the nigga's name? He retired. He was getting beat the hell up. Fought Tyrone Woodley for the championship. Got beat the hell up. You know him. Southpaw. Oh, I can't remember his name right now, but he had an undefeated record in the UFC, and then look at him, downfall, retired. Said I'm gonna step away from the
Darren
sport.
Till?
Yeah, Darren Till.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Where they just be like, okay, yeah, you undefeated, go ahead, let's see what you got, and then just end up getting beat the hell up, and then it's just a downhill from there. So, yeah, I feel like that's the type of mentality that these UFC fighters have, where they see a O next to their name, and they just want to go ahead and throw them to the championship right away. Like, oh, he fought somebody in the top 10. All right, give him someone in the top 5. Oh, he beat somebody in the top 5. Give him to the champion.
Yeah, but see, like, here's my thing. So I'm looking at Ilia's record, right? He's 6-0 in the UFC with notable wins over Josh Emmett and Mitchell. Those are the only people in the top 15 that he's fought and beat.
Those are not notable wins to me, though.
But that's all I can give you, though. If I give you the other names, you gonna
how are those not notable wins?
Because they're like Darren Till type niggas.
No,
they're
like
he hasn't hit the cream
for the strap though. For the strap,
for the strap, he hasn't fought nobody. This is the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't fought no, and there's killers at 145. See, the difference between 145 and 185 is that 185, DDP should have been able to walk straight up into that title shot, right? Because he had the winning streak, and Izzy had already beat everybody. So it was available for him. And there was nobody, aside from Robert Whittaker, where you were like, I don't think he's going to get past Whittaker, right? So now when you're looking at the top 5, that Ilia can fight everybody in that top 5. Not saying that he needs to, but he could, if he got a win over Arnold, if he got a win over Brian Ortega, or, now, looking, Yair obviously is fighting, but if he got a win over one of those people, or
just one of those,
yeah, that's where you like.
What's Ilia's rank right now?
Ilia is now number 5. It's like y'all made Arnold Allen have to fight Max Holloway, so why can't Ilia now? Or why can't Ilia go inside there and take off Brian Ortega's head? Something like that. because then that gives you that fight. We know you at that level because what's gonna happen if you go inside there and you fight Volkanovski and you get smashed like Darren
Just walk through you.
Tyron Woodley? He was never the same after Tyron Woodley put them paws on him.
You know, I think it's this recency bias. We see him do so well his past 2 fights, and we're just like Damian was saying, oh man, it's a hot new prospect. Let's throw his ass in there right away without taking those steps to see, hey, can you beat a nigga like Max? Can you beat a guy like Brian Ortega? You know what I'm saying? So, and I think he's very, very good. He has a style that probably, you know, he can match up against Volk. But, you know, the way you were spitting, Sky, I was just like, damn, you kind of right. You kind of right. You know, we're just super high on him right now because the way he just beat everybody, those 2 guys in his last 2 fights. But you can't just beat Josh Emmett and jump to the strap. I'm with you on that one. I kind of take that next one, another fight one more time. Arnold Allen. That'll be a fucking banger. That's a test.
That'll be a banger. Real though. Yeah, that's a real test. Yeah,
that's a test.
What you got to say, Jay?
So on one hand, I hear you guys talking about, oh, it's unfair because they keep giving people this extra fight and this extra fight and this extra fight. And now we're in the same situation again. The guy's on a 14-fight win streak, 6 fights in the UFC. You know what I mean? Who he took Bryce's O and smashed the fuck out of his O as everyone was riding the dick of Bryce. You know what I mean? And before Josh had fought and lost, you know what I mean? Josh was on a 6-7 fight win streak as well. Prior to that, you know what I mean? As well as variables in the equation is the fact that Volk has already beat pretty much everyone else that's in front of him. You know, so again, I mean, which one is it? Do guys have to take the extra fight? Or can guys fight for the title? Like, I just want a little bit of consistency.
My only thing is,
but I think that's the thing with the UFC. Go ahead,
matter. Sorry, the type of fights matter. Going back to Bilal Muhammad had already beat 3 top 15 dudes. There was nobody else. Burns was behind him, and they still made him fight him. That's why
so he's at 2.
So pause. What? No.
Go.
Prior to that, he had already beat 3. He beat Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in the top 15. Killers, not no pussies. He beat
killers.
Them, right?
Give me some names.
Talking about Beneil Dariush. Beneil has stepped through Tony Ferguson, which was fucking heartbreaking. He went through Gamrot, who was running through the fucking division, who was in the top 15. And I want to say he went through somebody else that was in the top 15. I'd have to go back.
Tony Ferguson. Did you already say that?
Yeah, I said Tony.
Okay,
there was somebody else in the top 15 that he had went through too. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you going through that top 15 like that and you running through the elite people, okay, cool.
Let them know.
Now, like I said, I'm okay if Volkanovski wins and they say, hey, Ilia, your time is ready. Because Arnold's coming off a loss. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that if we weren't in this predicament, absolutely not. Like, I would want to see him fight Max Holloway or Arnold Allen so that we can get that feeling of like, oh, okay, you're there. You're ready for that level. And how much bigger would it be? 1 second. This is my last little point.
Go ahead.
How much bigger of a fight would it be if he goes through, beats Max Holloway? If he beats Max Holloway, people are
they're going to crown the nigga. They're going to crown him right now.
That fight against Volkanovski becomes insanely big. Because now you got that stamp of approval. Right now, we really don't know. And you talking big and you sounding good. And you going up against the best in the world of Volkanovski. It's like, we just don't know. That's all.
So what you're really just saying is you want him to fight Max first. Like, that's all I really fucking hear. Because because what's the difference between a Bryce and an Arnold Allen? Like, in my mind,
that's a big difference.
No, there's not. Before Ilia exposed Allen, there was not a big difference. They both were undefeated going in. You know, and they both were talked about as possible talking shots. They're the same trajectory. If he fights Arnold Allen next, y'all still ain't gonna dap him. But like, oh well, you know, Arnold Allen's coming off of a loss. Nah, bro, Arnold Allen's already coming off a loss. Just say, hey, I want him to fight Max, and just let it be like that.
But I'm giving you my reasons. You want me to deduce them down to what will make you feel comfortable with my reasons.
But essentially that's what you're saying.
But we all gave
Arnold
Allen props for fighting Max Holloway and still like actually giving him a run for his money a little bit in a sense, right?
Yeah. Now you know where he's at.
Yeah, and he deserved, like, he proved that he deserved to be in that top 5 ranking, right?
Yeah.
Ilia Topuria, he's been good. He's been on a roll and shit, but we haven't seen him face somebody like a Arnold Allen,
Ilia
like a
is
Max.
Giga Chikaze right now. He's Giga Chikaze.
We
Giga was
haven't seen
running
it.
through, and then until he ran into Calvin Cater, then we was like, oh, Giga's not that guy. Same shit with Ilia. He's fighting the same dude.
So
It's
if
about to be
Ilia
an
fought
Aldina versus
if Ilia fought a
Brandon.
Calvin Cater, would that give him the golden ticket?
I would
A
like
little
to
bit
see
more,
him.
because this
A little
look at
bit
it
more.
like this. A little bit more, because you smash this. Look, he smashed a guy like Ryan Hall. That don't give you that much clout, my guy.
Can we bring up Josh's Emmett's record real fast?
You know what I'm saying? Ilia, he just beat Emmett. Solid win. He beat Bryce Mitchell, I'm sorry. Solid win. And then you go fight Ryan Hall. We're just like, all right, bro, that don't hold up. So you, like Sky was saying, you beat Jai Herbert in a different division. Jai Herbert, who? You know what I'm saying? It's, probably catch one more win and we throw you right there. It's not, I'm high on Ilia. I fuck with Ilia. He's good as fuck. He's super, super good. Him and Arnold Allen will be fired. I think that should be fired.
Like I said, just say that he needs to fight Max first before they give him the golden ticket.
I'm
Not
saying
gonna be
Arnold
an
Allen.
excuse.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. I don't think that pads his resume really at all.
So you think that him
Josh Emmett get you a shot at the belt?
His overall record and what he's been doing gives him a shot at the belt, as well in the equation of everyone else. Volk has already beat, so it's just like, why would you not?
Did Michael Johnson beat him?
No, he knocked out Michael Johnson the same way that Michael.
Oh, that's Josh
Johnson
Emmett. You're talking about Josh Emmett? Yeah.
Yeah. So Josh Emmett beat Calvin Cater, which majority of the world
close.
thought that he didn't win.
Yeah.
I thought that he did due to
That's
the
a good, but
minute.
that's like his most astounding win on his record, I feel like.
Yeah, because then he beat Dan Ige.
Great win.
Good win.
Shane Barros, great win. Michael Johnson, great win.
Burgle Johnson, okay. Those some good ass names, bro. Those some good ass names.
Johnson, we like Johnson, but come on now. He ain't. Come on. I like Johnson. I go for him every time he fights. Like, come on. He ain't hard.
Headset Damien is different, dog.
Wow, boy, man.
I love Johnson. Like I love watching him. That's one of my most underrated fighters that I love watching. But
Sky, did you bring up Ilia's? Because I can't really see it because it's smaller on mine.
Oh yeah. You want me to bring up Ilia's?
Yeah, can you say his last 6 wins?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
And he beat the fuck out of Josh Emmett. Ilia's good as fuck. He's good as fuck. But I think a lot of people is gonna beat.
But he slowed
like
down
that
and
too.
shit.
Yeah.
But guess what? Max Holloway ain't finna slow down. I don't think Arnold Allen finna slow down. He gonna put the motherfucking. He gonna test your motherfucking self.
I didn't know that this panel was so fucking high on Arnold Allen. Oh my god,
we're not.
Jesus, no, you are, because y'all keep saying his name, so you must.
We want to see a good fight.
I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight.
We're saying his name because he went up against the man. If he didn't go up against Max,
Max is not the man.
We didn't know where he was. He is
Max
the man.
Is not really. He is the man. Is he the champ? I'm sorry, I must have missed him getting the
battle. Once a champ, always a champ.
We don't have
just because he ain't got the strap now, don't mean he's not that nigga though.
Look at his accolades, bro. Come on now.
Winningest fit. Like, we're not even about to do that. At the end of the day, Ilia Topuria. This is
the man is whoever has the fucking title. That's who the man
at the time being, yeah, for the title. But we talking about records. We talking about everything else. Come on.
At the end of the day, next to quote unquote the champion is Max Holloway, and if you can't get past him, what are we talking about? So this is Ilia Topuria's record, right? So Zalal, I don't recall this fight. Actually, I feel like I do. Do y'all know who Zalal is?
I would have to see him. I can't see him.
Damian Jackson. I do know Damian Jackson. First round TKO.
Smashed
Ryan Hall. I remember that fight.
Ryan Hall was butt scooting all over the motherfucking octagon, bro.
And got beat the fuck
out.
Hit him with that. Yeah. Jai Herbert, that was a beautiful KO.
And he almost went out that fight too.
Yeah, Topuria, yeah. Bryce Mitchell, and now Josh Emmett.
A lot of them wins ain't holding that much weight, man.
Yeah, but like I said, if Volkanovski wins, I understand Topuria being next. But the reality is that this is a great lucky time for him, right? Because the champ is getting ready to fight, and we have an active champ. To where he would be able to walk in and get it. But if Volkanovski wasn't fighting right now, or if it wasn't close like this, he would have to fight somebody else. That's just what would happen. But with that being said, Ilia Topuria more than likely, if Volkanovski wins, we'll get the title shot, and I'm not gonna be mad at it. Do I think he has the skills to beat?
Yeah.
Do I think he has the skills to beat Volkanovski? I don't. I don't see him having anything different that Volkanovski hasn't already done. That he is just another version of other people that Volkanovski has beat.
Topuria is not an Islam, nigga. Topuria is not Islam. Come on. We already know what's gonna happen. And Volkanovski is gonna beat Rodriguez. Come on.
I don't know about that,
He's
bro.
finna beat him, bro. He's about to walk through that man. He's about to retire that man.
I don't know about retire.
Damn. Retire. We about to say, you know what? I had a good run. I'm gonna call it quit, Holmes.
And to back up what I just said, the only reason why I give why I say maybe Rodriguez could win is because of how dynamic he is. That's something different than what Volkanovski has faced in the past. And so that is the reason why I'm like, hey, Yair could get it done. Like, he's throwing kicks and punches and elbows from places that they're not supposed to come from. So that dynamic, that happening, him being, just out of there, is a possibility to catch somebody with something that they didn't see coming. It only takes 1 second. I think I was telling Jace like this weekend. I was telling him, I was like, we've seen Volk get dropped twice by Max. He got dropped 2 or 3 times by Islam, so he can be hit, and he does drop. So if Yair can hit him with something crazy coming from a different angle that he doesn't see, you don't know what could happen. What a moment that would be.
Anybody.
I know that, but I'm talking specifically about, Yair is not striking like a regular dude. He's not sitting there he's not.
He's quick, and he's got power behind like the kicks and stuff. I just see Volk clenching his ass up, taking him down, or beating the fuck out of his calves. That's what I see happening.
He's definitely going for the calf. 100%.
Yeah.
Do I think Volk is going to? Volk can most definitely win this fight. I'm not saying, but I'm saying, in my opinion,
Yair can do something, for sure. Especially being the way longer rangier fighter and quick as shit. That's one thing that he has going for him, is that he's long and he's quick as shit. So, yeah, anything's possible. But I just my brain doesn't compute it. I can't fucking see it happening where he loses that fight.
Well, listen here, especially getting knocked out. You better start looking, motherfucker, for
I just don't see him. All right, I don't see Yair winning a decision. That's for damn sure. Yeah, and I don't see him getting knocked. I don't see him getting like a flash knockout.
It's gonna be interesting, man.
It doesn't happen in my head. But anything is possible. That's why I love the sport. That's why I'm gonna tune in with my fucking ass at the edge of the seat. I'm gonna be watching. So
yeah. Facts. Either y'all have any other questions or hot takes?
Well, we just talked about Ilia the whole time, so I'm gonna just give him a shout out. Brother Sunni said Ilia would beat Max. I don't know if you watched the podcast yesterday. Yesterday, he did say that, but we already ran through that, so we don't have to talk about that. I got another one from my guy, T-Ball Paul says, Joe Rogan is the worst commentator on the panel.
What?
Joe Rogan's the best.
I love Joe Rogan. I'm upset when it's an overseas event and I realize, Joe Rogan don't do that no more.
The moment I hear Bisping, I'm like,
No, I think I would say, and I don't think this, I just know what the community is talking about, and they all say Dominic Cruz is the worst. People will be hating on that nigga. I don't know why.
Dominic Cruz is the most technical, and he knows his shit, and I appreciate that. but he's dry and he's boring and he adds no enjoyment to the podcast. I mean, to the broadcast for me. But as far as techniques, he can break shit down. He sees it before they're getting ready to do it. Like, he'll call it, and I can appreciate that. But like, he's just dry. He's wet paint, just drying on the wall.
I think that for me, Dominic is my second favorite broadcaster behind Joe. Yeah, I love Dominic Cruz. Joe is the best because Joe dumbs it down. Where when he does his commentary, it seems very conversational. Like you in a living room talking to somebody, and there's that nigga that just know a little bit more than you. You know what I'm saying? But he says it so easily, so eloquently that you don't. Yes, like he breaks it down. But then and I also think Joe's reactions are real, and that's the reason why for me. And that's the reason why for me, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, like my least favorite commentator is John Anik. I just feel everything he's done is so contrived, you know what I mean? And just tries to go over the fucking top. Like, you know what I mean? With his fucking big ass ball sacks underneath both eyes, man. I'm not a big John Anik guy. Hot take. I know.
Hot take.
That is a hot take.
Yeah. I would say my top two is Joe Rogan. I love DC. I don't care what y'all say.
I love DC too.
Somebody was in the comments the other day talking about they hate DC because he's biased. I would say that Bisping is by far the most biased.
Biases.
I mean, I can't even really listen to Bisping that much. And I hate the worst duo is Bisping and Cruz. When they are on the same card, all they do is bicker at each other and one
be arguing with each other.
Yeah, and it's just like it's not even funny. I'm just like, come on, bro. But I do love that about Joe Rogan. I love that Joe says, well, like I'm thinking in my head, he's like you'll hear the coach be like, get up, and Joe Rogan will be like, he would get up if this man wasn't on top of him. Like he just says shit that's like so Captain Obvious, but it's hilarious to me.
But he's just honest though. He's just honest and speaking himself, and that's kind of like why we like his podcast and like him as a person, right? Because he's not fucking sugarcoating that. He's just being himself 100% of the time. So yeah, Joe Rogan is absolutely one of my favorites, and I'm upset when he's not on a fucking broadcast. I'm just like, oh damn. And I gotta say maybe I was gonna say maybe John Anik is one of my least favorite.
Wow.
Just because like all the plugs and shit. I feel like he's so corporate with it.
He has
you know what
to,
I mean?
though. That's his
I
job.
understand that. But that also like takes me out of the moment because he's the opposite of Joe Rogan, where he's like actually being himself and shit. Where he's like, oh, nice strike, and brought to you by Miller, and you know what I mean? This shot is brought to you, you know, and it just takes me out of it. But I gotta say Laura, that's her name, right? Laura
Sanko.
She kind of knows her shit. She kind of knows her shit. And I was like listening to her and respecting it. And now that you guys bring up Michael Bisping, I gotta say he's probably one of my least favorite. That's on the broadcast team.
What about Paul Felder?
I like Paul.
I like Paul
Because I feel like he's so experienced.
Paul's cool.
And he knows what he's talking about, and he's just being honest. I feel like he's a commentator. Obviously, he's a fighter, but he's commentating as a fighter. You know what I mean? Versus trying to be a commentator. And I respect that about him, right? DC knows his shit. He's being technical, but he mostly talks about like wrestling and stuff. But I feel like Paul Felder actually knows. I don't know. I like Paul Felder. He has a special spot in my heart. Pause.
Yeah, and I feel like overall DC is just there just to have a good fucking time. DC is just funny to me. He just be talking like just regular shit he be saying. Like one time DC dropped the M-bomb and me and Jace was like, hey, you hear that? Like, what is going on?
He said something this weekend.
He did say something this weekend. He was like, come on, bro. You didn't cuss in 14.
He said, come on. He said, bro, that's twice now you done cussed on it, and we on ABC.
Oh, yeah, we on ABC. Right before he said that, I said it, and Danny looked at me.
I said it too. That shit had me dead, bro. I was like, this man needs to stop cussing.
Yeah.
But you know whose corner were we this weekend? And they kept going to the corner, and the coaches was cussing their ass off. I was like, I know ABC was pissed off. Like, God damn.
Is
Y'all
that
better
live?
stay up out
There
that
has to be a
corner.
delay. There has to be a delay.
Yeah, there's
right
like a
there.
10-second delay.
Okay,
for
there
NBC.
has to be though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stay
like
up
you
out
said,
that
Scott,
corner.
get up
missed
out the
nothing
corner.
for it.
Exactly.
Mind your business. Mind your business over there, because these people, you know what I mean? Especially like as a corner, I need to talk to my fighter.
Yeah.
And if y'all don't like it,
I gotta have the energy and the passion and the fire behind it too. I can't be fucking censoring myself.
yeah.
Go out there and whoop some butt. You got this.
Michael Chandler. That's
Doggone
Michael
it.
Chandler.
Oh, Michael Chandler. Yeah, also, you guys, make sure that you guys are checking out the Tough Reaction
peep
show.
We
Every
trying.
week, you'll see CJ, me, and Danny hop on there. It's been real hard to watch it because the show has
trying.
been lagging. The show has been lagging. Like it's just not. I don't know if y'all been watching it, but there ain't no excitement. Ain't nobody pissing nobody off. Ain't nobody cussing nobody out.
Yeah.
Like,
Where's all the house? Where's all the house content? Is it because nothing going on in the house?
Ain't nothing going on in the house, bro.
They all cordial and just living life.
They're not showing it. Your boy Connor is on the white girl. He having a good time.
They're watching it today, huh? Because he was tripping the last.
It just went on. Yeah, it just went on.
Hey, yo, don't spoil nothing. Come on.
Oh man.
Yeah, watch that. Yeah, but
not the white girl.
Yeah, la 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 la. That's all I'm gonna say, and it's gonna make sense when you watch it. La la la.
Man.
But yeah, I think that's it for us. We will be back next week. This weekend is gonna be your boy Sean Strickland taking on a boost with another Russian name that I don't feel like messing up. And that event, it is what it is. We're not about to get too crazy inside of
Beard
it.
with no mustache?
Kevin Lee's back too. Kevin Lee's back.
Oh, Kevin Lee's in the building.
In the UFC?
Yeah.
No way.
Damien, you didn't know your boy Kevin was back?
No way.
Kevin Lee. He went.
No way. I see holes.
Yeah, you see holes in the show.
I see holes in the contract. What's going on here?
Look
That's Eagle FC's boy.
Yeah, let me pull this over so that you can see it.
What? Kevin Lee, okay.
Unfortunately,
they love showing that Gregor Gillespie highlight, bro. They love
that shit fire though.
It is, because I was like for sure he was gonna lose that shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, look who he fighting. He fighting another Russian. I don't know how that's gonna go for your boy. That's a tough fight back.
Do we have the records?
Ismail Bonfim, aka the Bonfim brother, aka the man that sent Terrence McKinney to hell. God damn, earlier in the year. He's on the card. So make sure that you check that out. Hey, what happened to that boy?
Because he was active. That boy was active. Of course we remember that.
Yeah. That shit was so hot in the early 2000s. Shout out to some of y'all wasn't even born yet.
That's sad. I missed out.
Yeah, so unfortunately the other brother isn't on there. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching. We'll be watching, see Sean Strickland.
Watch that one. Max Griffin, that's my nigga right there.
Yeah. Why? Because he black?
Hey, as he should. As he should.
Hey. The comments be going crazy. I'm like, why is it that I'm like, oh, shut up. I can support whoever I want to.
Exactly.
Like, oh, wait, real quick, you guys.
Just like y'all be hating on people that y'all hate on.
Exactly. Real quick, you guys, I seen your boy do pussy. I seen your boy do pussy. Yes. I didn't text you. I thought I had texted you. I know I texted Jace and CJ. And I was like, I seen your boy. Your boy's big. He's about like as big as Marvin. Like he's a big, like little stocky guy. Yeah, for sure. So keep that same energy.
Did he look African to you? Because I don't. I can't see it.
Hey, shots fired. Listen, y'all. We just here to have a good time. We appreciate y'all coming, hanging out with us, watching the pod, leaving comments, all that good shit. We will be back next Wednesday as usual.
Cop your merch. Should be fire next Wednesday too. Yep. It's gonna be fire. Yes. 290 is right around the fucking corner. 290 is
around the corner. Now we
Viva
can't
Mexico.
Wait. Yeah, next Tuesday gonna be lit. I'll tell you right now. But we will be back. Cop your merch and we're out.